Hello everyone, we're back with, I almost said Fata Morgana, 7th Lair, which is the Fata Morgana April Fool's game that, well, calling that is a bit wrong, right? Even though that is true. But yeah, last time we got here, we went through a pretty lengthy, not quite exposition segment, where we got introduced to the setting, kind of. And now we're in the real world, I guess, on I don't know what this is supposed to be, a forum thread or some kind of conversation with Imion, who was that she was that person who showed up in the Ascento de Lee chapter of in a Requiem for Innocence, like the side chapter thing. They disguised it as a guy, but they were actually a girl. So is it tomorrow when you meet that girl? And Dark Knight, who is Michelle, knew her in some regard. Honestly, I have no idea how this will play out. I'm assuming girl is Giselle. I know you're happy inside, lol, but come on, you should be glad you have a fan. If you're really a fan, and who would like this random no-name site on the fringe? Don't some of us come here because we like it? Everyone hates it. Only because they have nothing else to do. True, there are no other users like her who send those intense mails to you. Oh no, it's... Well, hold on, there's not a yandere kid. Well, oh, it's Morgana. You know, actually, Morgana is wait. It's the white-haired girl. Come on, it's a bait and switch. It's not Giselle. I almost couldn't believe it when you showed me. Maybe she's a little suspiciously forward. Could be some kind of trap. Don't get catfished. You're the type that easily gets scammed. I like to think I'm not careless enough to get scammed. Yeah, no, Michelle could easily get scammed. So do you remember you saying that once before? Lol, 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 lol. You jerk. Oh yeah, hold on. Let me move OBS. Nope. Okay. So that meets the window. Like tabbing out. Is there a setting for that? Hold on. Config. Doesn't seem like it. It's neat that this controller support is built in, though. I mean, I wouldn't play a VN with a controller, but you know, if you want to more power. Oh yeah, but hold on, you just gotta check this every once in a while, just in case. Door 4 taught me. Anyway, you should be half excited, half on your guard. I'm telling you, I'm not gonna get scammed. Well, I hear ya. These things can be landmines. There's no guarantee it's actually a female. If your WhatsApp all hopeful, you end up in for a bad time. Please don't let this be a guy pretending to be a girl. Even if it is a girl, lol lol, she might be a psycho clingy type, lol lol lol. Can't wait to hear all the stories you'll have from this, lol lol. Shouldn't have come to you for help. Imion. This isn't because I'm overly expecting anything. It's just me being hypothetical, but if it's just some completely normal girl, what should I do? This is actually expecting something. I knew it. Right? Did they type that in parentheses, or is that them thinking it? I can see that, you know. Okay. Ha. Yeah, well, at the very least, how about you learn how to make a cappuccino or something? That's a random line. I always thought I wanted to be a game creator. That I could be perfectly reproduce the game worlds I imagined in my head, and then they turned out awful. Is that an actual screenshot from a video game? Looks like a login screen to an MMO. Out of all the game ideas I had were revolutionary. That if I could get into a game company, I could make what I wanted to. And I thought, all would sing my praises. That's what I thought. It's likely that most of those with the lavish title of creator thought just as much. To think I'm a genius. That I have something special which separates me. Using that special something, I can impress and inspire. Oh yeah, this is getting too real too fast. I just want an April Fool's game. Be funny. Also, that other people's ideas are drab. Or for a less delicate way of saying it, I can make something way better than your boring as hell pile of garbage. Actual pardon my French. Lots of people wouldn't hesitate to say it. And without much doubt in my mind, I was like that too. In some ways, my dream came true, then it was crushed. 5 years ago, I found myself with a small developer, and as I always wanted, was officially working on games. That place was like a cesspool of despair. Like when I had a new idea. When we had a brainstorming meeting. Or when I made a proposal. When I made a spec sheet. When I literally tried to do anything. The people who were considered my superiors would curl their lips into a wicked sadistic smile and shoot me down repeatedly. I mean, I was new, so things were rough around the edges. But they weren't there just to reshape my ideas. They had to strip them bare and grind them into oblivion. Well, he was working at Bethesda, the Elder Scrolls 4. Ragging on others was fun for them and alleviated their stress. Criticism was the easy typo. You could learn it quickly. Those ideas were easiest to step on before they had really taken shape. But it was hard having my ideas rejected. It's almost as if they're saying that my brain was a boring failure of a product. A person can't continue putting out ideas if you constantly trample on them. I wonder if this is the writer, like if this is based off their real experiences. If they could, then they wouldn't be the developer at the bottom of the barrel. They would be on to bigger projects, putting out huge original titles into the world. But I, for one, as well as the others there, weren't that kind of person. That's why I wore out. Eventually became a cog with nowhere to go. Oh. There's a time when I scoffed at the routine nature of office work. But I've come to be amazed at the stability office workers have. A highly functional cog is opposed to a stripped, busted one. Night and day difference. I ended up quitting within a year. Would never see the day where a game I created would be released into the world. How could someone who couldn't even endure being on the bottom ever have a chance to release an original title? It's the truth. Cold and hard as it may be, but if I was forced to stay in that toxic sludge, my brain would have eventually rusted. My time came, probably wouldn't have been able to have an original thought anyway. And plus, there are other methods. Who said you couldn't make an original title unless you're part of a company? There is no such rule. There's always the indie community, isn't there? Right about that time, indie games were all the rage. They're all over the place in game magazines. One that was really making headlines was a game a college girl made where all you do is race a bunch of plants. One that wasn't really a game at all. Is that a reference to a real game? Or do you think that college girl is going to be Giselle or Emion or someone? Sorry, I had to take a drink of water. Recording visual novels is hard work. This is the first time I've actually done a real one in a while. Even after millions of downloads, it showed no signs of slowing. I mean, if people were willing to buy that, I can make something too. By myself if need be. No problem. I'll make it happen. Or at least, I thought as much. And 4 years ago, I made Kingdom Heaven. Released to the world would be my first game, Fairy House. I don't think Fairy House was bad. Come on, don't get all bummed out. You still got everything ahead of you, yeah? There might be a spike soon enough. It might just be that no one's aware of it. Luck plays a big role too, I think. Just think about what you're gonna do next. You only say that because you've never made anything before. Giving it out for free and it hasn't even reached 100 downloads yet. If that wasn't bad enough, just when I thought I would get some reactions, all I get are complaints. I mean, it's free! I'm letting them play for free! Well, I guess I can understand getting heated. But it won't come together without players. Maybe you could try and get closer to them? To the users, I mean. There are only 100 people. Probably less than half of them have even played it. This is at least more than a classroom. A lot more. Don't get greedy. 100 people is a lot. Think about it. If we charged them all 99 cents, you'd have $100. Well, $99. Maybe Fairy House is just that kind of game. Send messages to fairies, teach them language, and expand conversations. It's just a conversation game. People could start conversing with them the way they imagine, and their satisfaction will go way up. It'll be more like a game where you raise them. But as it is now, it's not at the point where they can have a real conversation. That's where they get sick of it and complain. You can make it so that you can sample user data, then update it. The users all contribute to make Fairy House bigger. Something like that would make it unique, maybe fun. Okay, so this is my prediction, okay? The girl Michelle's going on a date with is actually Emion, who is actually Giselle. Calling it. Calling it. I mean, that'd be a boatload of work for you, lol. There was also the girl who made the plant game. You can suggest all that because you're not a creator. But I'll give it some thought. Yeah, do it. There's no way I can do something like make games. So it's only me running my mouth. Here's what I think. The majority of people have no idea how to make games, don't try to understand, they don't even need to anyway. All they need to understand is how to play it. True. But now you know how much effort it takes to make even a floundering flop of a game. You've learned. Even with a crappy system and a crappy world, you know the time and the effort it takes to get to that start menu. By completing the first project of Kingdom Heaven, you've moved to the side of understanding. I think that's a big first step, you hear? You know, sometimes I wonder, are you a creator yourself? Come on, yeah. I'm just a well of knowledge is all. I get like this after a while. I don't impart my knowledge on just anyone. It's only because you made me a fan of Fairy House. Someone's blushing behind the screen, lol 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 lol. I am not. Of course, that could actually be Emion in this timeline. But I think that's a red herring. I could totally make something like this. In reality, that confidence was quickly shattered in the development process. The other girl is a mere college student with no knowledge of game making. College? Come on! It's way too obvious. So that could be, you know, and that could be a red herring, but there I was with a whole year of professional work under my belt. That was just a case of watch a pro at work. Well, it resulted in something light years away from millions of downloads. Something that was railed and ridiculed yet again by critics. Emion counseled me by saying, at least you were noticed. It'd be worse if I was completely ignored. Personally, if they're gonna tease me, I would have preferred if they said nothing. I didn't have thick enough skin to brush it off. In fact, I was so upset I wanted to die at times. At the same time, I was furious. The one who stuck with me was Emion. I met Emion when I was a university student. Though we've never actually met directly. I was about to say my theory is busted, but we met on an MMORPG and got along like two peas in a pod. When we'd get sick of a game, we'd move on to the next one together. We'd be at each other's throats sometimes too, like when one of us would blow it on a co-op game, like an FPS. If we were grinding levels in an RPG, we'd have in-depth talks about the menu system and whatnot. Our preferences were almost one and the same when it came to being on the consumer end. So, have they ever voice chatted? I didn't know. Is she a Giselle or is she a Emion? I eventually noticed we're chatting almost every day. Our online correspondence continued for years, but I never suggested meeting up. Nor had he. Come on! It wasn't like we had interest in doing so, or like there's no reason to. In some ways, being online gave us a far more real connection than meeting face to face. Not knowing his real name or where he lived, that in fact, might have been the reason it was so easy to have him as a friend. If I had to say what I knew about Emion, it's that he was a guy about my age who liked mostly the same stuff. Yeah, have you voice chatted with him? That's important. Then about 2 years after starting Kingdom Heaven, I had no real steady job and was piddling around with game projects at home. 5 releases so far. My site was becoming a bizarre hangout for the regulars only. It was about that time I got a message from a woman. Oh my god. Hello, I'm a woman. I really like your games. Her online name was Giselle. I wonder who this could be. After running the site for 2 years, some decent reviews started coming in. There'd never, ever been someone like who wrote with such politeness. Moreover, a sense of passion in their responses. Generated extensively in reaction to each of my games released thus far. Oh, you know what I just realized? That took me this long to realize? In the real world, this whole time I've been thinking this takes place in Japan, which doesn't really matter, but no, this takes place in, presumably, France. Can't believe how into Fairy House I am right now. It's so different than anything that's out. Okay, I'm gonna play Fairy House after this. If I get more than 5 minutes of content out of it, I'll let you know. I'm at the point where whenever I see a fireplace, I can't help but think of it. I don't know, I just feel like I have friends in my computer now. Like I have someone I could talk to. Like maybe a counselor? You completely talk to them about anything. My little fairies. Once I got used to the illustrations, they just get cuter and cuter, and Crash Room is just so neat. So what do you call it, a block game? So easy to get into. But I messed up so many times, destroying the whole world. I think on the 3rd level I set a new record. See, your 3rd game is a visual novel. It's called The House at Fata Morgana. It's kind of surprising. It's so cool that you can write too. The story was a little dark and kind of made me sad. Do you ever write happier stories? Want to read more of the things that you write? Maybe something about young love, or the game title is Kingdom Heaven. How surprising! It's on the same site. Is the kingdom that you imagine something like this world? You have to say kingdom loud. There's no monsters or levels, but I never get bored playing it. Were the people who left the notes meant to lead you? Were those people lost in the kingdom to begin with? The fifth one! I never expected it to be a rhythm game, lol. Such a funny theme. Hitting the heart to the beat is a little weird for girls. That may be what's so neat about you. I mean, it's a little weird for girls. I mean, I thought it so at first, but after a little bit, it got so fun and now I can't put it down. I might be addicted. It's really so amazing that you come up with such unique indie games like this. Her adorably newbie responses are actually a breath of fresh air. She wrote no criticisms, constructive or otherwise, just simple accounts of her enjoyment. Almost made me A, cringe and embarrassment reading them. That's 2 A typos in a row. Manga gamer, I paid $8 for this. You better knock it off. I assume this will get patched out. Suppressing my giddiness, and also the larger sense of shock, I copied her messages and forwarded them to Imion. Took me a whole week to reply to her. I had no idea what to say. I was supposed to be thanking her, but I felt an odd pressure writing my replies. I started to stress over it. Maybe she doesn't want to reply. Who would be happy getting a response from me? Maybe she just wanted her to write something. Started getting really pessimistic about it all. Felt like I'd end up destroying her built-up image of who Dark Knight was. Dark Knight is nothing special. He's a loser. The slime of society. He even struggles to pay his taxes. Oh, Michelle pays his taxes confirmed. He has no steady job. Yet he squanders his time on MMOs. Oh, is he playing Final Fantasy 14 as well? To top it off, he's nearing 30. If he is really unique, he would have been famous long ago. Yeah, everyone knows your life is over when you get to 30. It's anything but, though. So, maybe I was scared to think your illusion would be broken. Maybe I thought that I, myself, couldn't live up to my users' expectations. But in the end, no matter how many times I try to stop myself, I express my gratitude. I mean, I genuinely wanted to give her my thanks. I'm so glad. That was maybe bothering you with my comments. So happy you replied. Giselle again replied with her usual excitement. To someone lame like me. She then offered an unexpected proposition. It's a little hard for me to express myself online. It's okay with you. It's not an inconvenience. Just one time even. Would you be willing to meet with me? Oh, I was kind of thinking it was going to cut to, back to, the present. So it would be left on a cliffhanger, but guess not. I should have refused. I should have come. I should have told you. At this downtown area of Paris. Okay, it is France. My regrets are slowly consuming me. We agreed to meet at a cafe. She gave me both the name and address of the place, so there's no mistake. Our planned meeting time was steadily encroaching upon me. I live in downtown Paris, so it wasn't hard for me to get here. But for her to suggest this cafe must have meant that she did too. I mean, France is like, what, 5 miles across? So like anyone could get anywhere within 20 seconds. To reach out to as many users as possible, I made all my game and site content in English. So to have someone actually want to meet me like this was phenomenally unlikely. And I just realized that moments before. Well, okay, that was obviously a joke, but you actually could just get anywhere in France in, like, within the span of like 2 or 3 hours, right? Maybe a little longer, but she was French as well. Moreover, lived in Paris. In the endless ocean of the internet, she found my random French website. Well, I mean, I assume it's in French, so I mean. She took a liking to my games, so much that she wanted to meet me. Isn't this a little too convenient? Couldn't this just be one of my former classmates or co-workers who found my site and are toying? How would they know it's you? But they just want to laugh at my expense, that they could lure me out with a girl. It's quite possible. No, wait. It's the only thing this could possibly be! Who the heck plotted this? Maybe it's him or him. Maybe him. Doesn't matter. I have to act now that I figured it out. I'll go home. Not a moment to lose. Right now. I won't be the butt of their joke. Excuse me, can I have a check? Moments before the appointed time, and at the limit of my calm, I asked for the check when the cafe door opened and the chilly clang of the cowbell on top rang throughout. Show it! Come on, make it her! It's gotta be her! It rang throughout the room. And then the long, silky black hair. Wait, does she have long hair? Her eyes the color jade. Shocking. Oh yeah, right. Modern Giselle has her own spread. I forgot about that. Shockingly clear. Wait. Did Giselle ever have short hair? Yeah, she did. Okay, you're right. Fifth door. Right. No. It throws me in place. She's here! Best girl! I looked at her and was relatively sure I had a dumbstruck look on my face. And her, well, after the initial surprise of seeing my face, with a smile, a brilliantly warm smile, very likely the first time I'd ever seen such a shimmering smile, she looked at me and spoke. Is that you, Dark Knight? Ah, from the bottom of my soul, I regretted not telling her my real name. I was gonna cut it there. Oh, come on! No, I need more Giselle content in my life. Oh, so switching back to green means it's... Oh, got it. Achievement. The Life of a Creator 1. So I take a drink of water. A little short for a video, but I am... What is this song? Yeah, but anyway, I'm satisfied with doing a little shorter video today. Well, I mean, 20 minutes is still, like, that's a length. But yeah, my voice is starting to hurt from recording 2 hours today. So I'm going to call it there, and I'm going to go check out Dark Knight's games. I'm interested in what they are. Oh, this is actually kind of cool. I like this. I'm still kind of upset that it wasn't my voice cracked a little there. That it wasn't just all... what's the name of the composer? Yusuke something? Was it all just by him? Yusuke's a male name, right? Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Some more, almost said Prada Morgana. 7th layer. See you guys then. Bye.